So now the U.S. elections are done and dusted, and a lot of people have been telling me that you weren't trading during that time, and that's fine, that's good. Okay, you avoided a lot of the volatility that I've been telling you about for the last 3 weeks or so. But now all of that is finished. So what can we expect as traders in the market? Is that kind of volatility going to continue? Are we going to see the US dollar strengthen and go to the moon? Is gold going to sink like a ship? Well, probably none of that is going to happen. It will eventually over time. We will see some changes with this new administration that they have in the US, but the changes will be gradual. We can start to trade again. We can start to trust our strategy. We can start to continue to make income from the Forex markets and grow our account gradually over time. So let's go ahead and get started with the regular weekly analysis, which I do every Sunday before the markets open on Monday, and this week starting on the 11th of November going through to the 15th of November 2024. And of course we will look at the high impact news, the data that will be released this week. We have our go-to website for that, forexfactory.com, and then I will share my profit and loss that I had from last week's trade setups. Yes, I was trading during the U.S. elections, and it turned out to be a very profitable week. So we'll have a look at those trades that I took. And then for sure, I will share my pending orders with you. And that's the trade setups that I have in place. And I do all of this to help you make profit with your Forex trading. And starting off with our website, forexfactory.com, where we look at the high impact news. And we do have a full week, some very important items coming out. I have the main ones highlighted for you here. I won't go through each one of these items that I have highlighted for you, but just to remind you, if you're new to forexfactory.com, you're not familiar with the website, go to these little yellow folders you see here and click one of those. If you don't know what the core CPI month on month is, click the little yellow folder next to it. It will explain everything to you, how often the data is collected, what it means for traders, etc. All the information you need is there. What we are concerned about is the forecast data, what is expected to be released, and the actual, whether or not the actual at that time that it's released will be greater or less than the forecast. That's what affects the movement of our currencies and commodities. So just be sure and check forexfactory.com for your local times. Of course, as I always tell you, these times that you see here on the screen are Southeast Asia times. And now we'll have a look at the profit and loss from last week's trades. And as I told you, it was a very profitable week in spite of all of the volatility that we had. And looking at gold first, XAU USD, if you remember, I had a buy limit on that at 2,700. And what you see here, this day is Wednesday in Southeast Asia, but Tuesday in the USA. And of course, this is all this movement here is because of the US elections. But when it started off, gold came down and hit our pending order, okay, that 2700 zone. All right, then it started to move back up and then closed and started the next candle and then continued its move down. But this move up right here, and you would have had to been nimble, you would have had to been watching the charts and keep your eye on things, but you could have got out of that trade with 325 pips profit. Then on the Euro US, similar thing. Okay, this is Monday. The pending order did not open, but during the elections it came down and hit the entry point. Okay, and then continued down. All right, so again, you would have had to have your eye on the charts if you were using this sell limit that I had, which over here, of course, it would have been a sell stop. But the entry price was 1.0845, and the Euro US continued down even into the next day for a profit of 160 pips. Then the odd US, similar sort of thing. Okay, here is Monday, got some sideways movement, then the election started, and we got on that sell limit, had a total profit during that day, Wednesday, okay, Tuesday in the US during the elections, a profit of 83 pips on the odd US. On the New Zealand US, also a profit of 83 pips. On the pound US, a profit of 114 pips on the USD CAD. If you remember, I said no trade, which was good because in the beginning of the week you saw it went down, then it went back up, then it went back down, it's gone back up. A lot of sideways movement with the USD CAD. As I've told you before, it's at a very high price, which it has never been for more than 20 years. It's never broken above $1.39, $1.39, and it keeps bouncing away from that. So I had no trade on the USD CAD. I don't want to buy the USD CAD at those high prices. Then the UJ, the USD JPY, okay, we had a spike down, but then it did come up and hit the entry price. Okay, you could have bought here. It was a market execution order. Went a little bit the wrong direction, but then during the US election, made a rocket move past our entry point. So from the entry point up to here was a profit of 172 pips. So now let's look at the pending orders. These are the trade setups that I have in place for this upcoming week. And I do all of this to help you make profit with your Forex trading. But of course, don't forget that this is not financial advice. I'm not suggesting or recommending that you take the same trades. You can if you want to, but it's totally up to you to manage your account, to use good risk management, to protect your capital. Don't be greedy, don't chase the candles. All right, let the market come to you. And starting off with gold, okay, we saw this huge move down. And on the H4 chart and the D1 chart, the day chart, they are both showing bearish, officially bearish on gold. But I am maintaining my bullish outlook. Gold has been bullish since October 2023. So that's why I have a buy limit here. Our first zone, our first level of support will be between 2650 and 2660. I do expect gold to bounce off eventually of 2600, perhaps later in the week, with all of these high impact news items that we have coming out. But I'm confident that we will bounce off of this zone here first and then make a move up, maybe give us 200-300 pips before it starts to continue its move down to 2600. I'm still bullish on gold. This year we have seen several times when gold gave a bearish indication, but it didn't last very long. Because if you look back on the monthly chart, gold has been bullish since October 2023, and I continue to maintain a bullish outlook on gold for the future. Some of you continue to ask about stop loss and take profit, and you don't know where to place your stop loss and take profit. So I'll share with you what I do, and it's very simple. Doing the analysis on Tradingview, I use the little tool that they provide. All right, for a long position, let's assume that the buy limit for gold would be at 2660. So let's say the trade opened right here on this first support level, and that would be my entry point. And then the stop loss and take profit is done for me. Just one click of the mouse. All right, so that means that my stop loss here is below the previous low that we have, which I like that. Okay, but the take profit is only a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So I bring this up to what I like is 1-to-2. Remember, I told you if you have a 1-to-2 risk to reward ratio, you can lose 3 trades out of 5 and still make profit overall. So that would put my profit up here, my stop loss down here, and I'm all done. And you can use this on Tradingview. If you don't trade on Tradingview, or if you use MT4 or MT5, then you just take these numbers. There's your take profit right there, is 2708, and your stop loss would be 2636. So easily done, the stop loss and take profit. I made a video on that, and the link is below in the description of how to place your stop loss and how to adjust your risk to reward ratio. So looking at the US 30, a buy limit on this one at 43,900. As you know, if you trade this, the stock market reached an all-time high last week during the US election. It just went up like a rocket. So I have a buy limit. Let it retrace back to our support level here at 43,900. On the Euro US, I have a sell limit, continuing to be bearish on the US currencies, the major US currencies, as I do see a strengthening of the US dollar, at least for the near term. So a sell limit on the Euro US, let it retrace back to our resistance zone here, 1.0745. And then the odd US, a sell limit with the entry price at 0.6590. It's not very far away from that now. Let it retrace back to our resistance zone. New Zealand US, an entry price for the sell limit at 0.5975. The pound US, a sell limit on that one with the entry price at 1.2930. The USD CAD, no trade. No surprise there. Okay, as I've said many times over the last 2 or 3 weeks, with the USD CAD being at these high prices around $1.39, that is as high as I anticipate that it will go. It's what I told you in last week's video. We've seen a quadruple top. All right, it's never been able to break and maintain or sustain any level above $1.39. So let that one play out. Let it see that we start to get some bearish movement, and then I'm likely to have a sell limit in the near future on the USD CAD. The UJ, okay, this is a buy on market open. Okay, just buy on the market open. When you wake up Monday morning, place a buy order. And here's a classic example of what I always tell you about trading the news. Yes, the U.S. election, there was a lot of volatility. We saw the dollar going up and everybody's saying it's going to go to the moon. But then the very next day, and then the following day, it's almost right back to where it started before the election. And this is so common that we see these knee-jerk reactions to high-impact news. And so it's a good indication that, yes, things have gotten back to normal and will continue to be normal, okay, with the normal level of volatility that we see in the markets. So we can trust our strategy. We can continue to grow our capital gradually over time. We can continue to make income from Forex trading. And I'll just quickly look at the DXY. You saw that big move that it made up, but then just the very next day, it came back to where it was in the beginning of the week. Okay, it has started to strengthen again, and yes, we are likely to see some continuing strengthening of the U.S. dollar with the new administration that they have in the U.S., at least for the near term. And then the JPY basket, okay, this one has started to go up also because with the JPY being a safe haven, and with all of the volatility we've been seeing in the markets, people go for safe haven. So that's why we see the strengthening of the JPY basket. Whether or not that will continue, time will tell. We'll let that one play out. But I am, as you saw on the pending order for the UJ, I am bullish on the USD JPY. Okay, that's a wrap for this weekly analysis starting on the 11th of November, 2024. And before I go, I have a question for you. What else would you like me to discuss in these weekly analysis videos that I share with you? Something besides the profit and loss and the pending orders. Is there a strategy that I can help you with? Is there an indicator that you have a question about? Perhaps you have a question on robot trading or prop firm trading. Just let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Be sure and click the little bell so you'll be notified every time I make one of these videos. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you have a great week. And don't forget, be kind to yourself, be kind to others.